Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? It is, I don't know what the temperature, I think it's +1 or 1, here in Fort McMurray today. This morning, it's an early morning. It's 9:34 a.m. in the morning. And I had to come downtown, do a little bit of business this morning. And so I decided to come to my most favorite place, which is down by the Syne. It's quite beautiful here this morning. The water is really calm. You can see the reflection of the trees. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So as I was talking yesterday in my video, I had said I was going through a very difficult week, and still am. And I want to thank everyone for their prayers yesterday. It meant a lot. Earlier the week, I was in a group setting, and we were talking about different things, and this lady brought up about here in Canada, it's so different from like Africa and different places with the culture. And she was stating, like, you know, how things are so much easier here. And I'm like, yeah, really? You think so, do you? I don't think so. I have something I want to say. Back in the day, we're talking in the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth. And he put man in the Garden of Eden. He told them, you can eat up everything here, but except the one tree, the tree of life. And as many people know the story, they didn't obey, because they went, and Satan, the old devil, you know, the liar that he is, he told them, oh, well, you know, God don't want you to eat from there, because then you'll be like him. So, you know, you really need to take from the tree. And Eve, she seen that the fruit was good, so she picked it and she ate it, and then she gave some to her husband, and he ate it. And from that moment on, folks, when sin entered the world, because they sinned against God, evil has been taken a big chunk out of humans. Because, like, everywhere in the world, no matter where you are, in what country, especially these days, I mean, there's no world leader out there that is doing anything for anyone. And this is the problem, is that you have people in power all over the world. They're really just a handful of people. And they're dictating to everyone in the world what to do and what not to do. And you have powers that play, I guess, in the world, like, you know, like, I'll use, for example, Iran. Now, Iran used to be a country, Persia, whatever, Iran. That was much like Western civilization. And I can remember back in the late 70s when the Shah of Iran was overthrown, and the powers that are in there now took over the country, and they changed the society to what it is today over there. Now, I do not think for one instant that every Iranian citizen is bad. I don't. Or evil. I think it's the regime that is in control of it. They have put so much fear in people. They have so much governing power. It's crazy. And it's just like here in Canada when the world was under siege by that sea thing, you know. Here in Canada, you never thought you would ever hear that a pastor or pastors would be in jail. And they were treated really, really bad in the jails, like things that were done to them. Oh my world. Given no blanket, had to sleep on a cold cement floor. That happened here, folks, in Canada. Beaten. Innocent people that were just basically standing up. We were supposed to have this freedom that we could stand up and fight for what we want, and not even fight, because the protests that went on were all civil. There was no fighting, there was no arguing. They were helping people and all this. And the liberal government, I mean, the nasty liberal government, and I don't understand, folks, like, why BC even put, not BC, I don't know if it was BC, if they did a liberal one, but I know New Brunswick. Shame on you people back there. You are disgusting that you would even vote in a liberal premier. Like, wow, like, I can't get over how stupid these people are. It's just, when you see the evil that has come out of this government, wow. And it's all over the world. It's just evil, evil, evil. And it's not only in governments, it's in families, right? Like, no good to get there and say, oh, it's only in Canada and you can fight a white man and that white man is going to be wonderful, because how many, and I'm not just saying a man, it can be women too, okay? Because women can be just as mean and nasty as men. Nastier sometimes. But to think that it's just like, oh, here, oh, my goodness, Canada. It's not just, like, it's everywhere in the world. It's just evil. Evil is just reigning supreme. And in marriages and everywhere, you have to guard your heart. You have to guard your marriage. You have to. I'm sorry to say, in my marriage, as much as we tried to keep things between us, when you have an extended family, families can ruin you. I know it. It happened in mine. It happened with my husband's family. And I'm not going to say it was my whole family, but my mother created so much hardship for us in my family, in my marriage. It's unbelievable, like what people can do to other people, no matter if you're a world leader or a premier, premiers, whatever, MPs and governments. Like, government people, I'm sorry to say, most government people are out there to line their own pockets. That's all it's about. It's not about the people. It's not, they might go in there first with, I can help and I can do this and I can do that. But when they get in there and then they get their hands around money, and then there's all these, darn well, folks, there's kickbacks in the governments. It doesn't matter where you are, right? Like, yeah, JT went in with 25 million and now he's worth something like 200 million or more. Oh my God, like, I'm sorry, but you don't get that much money that fast unless you're taking the government kickback. And like all of them do. Like in the Hamas governments, all these people are out, they're starving to death, they're begging for food and all this. Like, Gaza should have been another Dubai. With all the money that flows in there. But what did they do? All the leaders and stuff like that, all the higher-ups were sitting in luxury. It's hilarious. The way we as people give so much control to other people who just are hell-bent on destroying our lives. No matter if it's, like I said, no matter if it's governments or even people within your own families. It can go from the high right down to the low. And it's a sad thing. And, people, I think we need to smarten up. I know from now on, this week I've learned a really hard lesson. Because I have always been the type to help people. In my own family, my husband's family. And all I find is a great big kick in the gut. So from now on, I'm basically going to be focusing on my own 2 kids and my grandkids and my daughter-in-law. That's my focus. Because they're the ones that's closest to my heart. And I pray and I hope that everyone who's out there who's hearing the sound of my voice, that if you got someone within your family that's just knocking you down and it's all take, you need to just cut them loose. They are toxic people. And it could be in the form, I know. Every day I start off, when I close my video, I always say, like, go see your parents and all this and about forgiveness and all that. And I still believe all that. But if your parent is toxic, and they're treating you, and they have treated you from knee-high to grasshopper, whatever, all your life, I'm going to tell you, a leopard don't change its spots. A leopard's a leopard, right? And you just can't let people tear you down and destroy you. I know that people know what I'm saying. Anyway, folks, that's my rant today. I hope you've enjoyed the beautiful scenery here. It is absolutely gorgeous. I can see the window over this way. It's kind of cool outside, so I don't really want to go out there, but it is absolutely gorgeous down here at the Syne riverfront. This calm, beautiful water. This is how our life should be, a little bit on the calm side, you know? Not always filled with so much junk in our trunks. You know, when there's so much going on, like within our lives, and like, I mean, I'm 58 years old, and my mother, from the time I can ever remember, has always treated me really, really badly. And like, I mean, I'll give you a prime example. I'm about 3 years old, and we lived in North Harbor, Newfoundland, in this 2-bedroom house. And the basement was built up on cinder blocks, and it was really high up. And from inside the house, there was a stairway that went down into the basement. And in the basement, there were no windows, nothing. It was just a big, open, black space. And when my dad was not home, she would put me down there for hours at end. And I'd be screaming, let me up, crying, let me up, let me up. And finally, she would let me up. To another day to go back down there again. And to this day, I still have fear of basements. I hate basements. Another thing she used to do was tie the doors together. And I talked to her about this on occasions, and she said, well, it was better than hitting you. Like, okay, I'm 3 years old. 3 years old. Like, okay, so you put your kid down in a cold, dark basement. And I gotta say, life never became better, and for me, ever. The best times was kind of when my dad was home. The only thing is I would have to contend with all the kids around, because my dad was this fun-loving person that everyone loved to be around. And so sometimes we weren't able to really have his full attention because everyone else was around. Makes sense? I can honestly say I didn't really know my dad till I was almost 11 years old, because I always had to share him with every other kid in the community. Then we moved away, and it was a little bit different. So, yeah. I know people have had lives a lot worse than mine. I'm not stating that, you know. Because when I look around the world and I see what kids are going through in the world, it's really nasty. And I have to say, I had a wonderful, wonderful grandmother who happened to be my mother's mother. But polar opposites. Polar opposites. This woman was the sweetest, kindest, gentlest soul ever going. And I would not have had a childhood if it wasn't for her. When I was pregnant with my first child, she babied me. I was so glad that I was back living in Newfoundland at that time and around her, because she was the best. She took care of me like, yeah, because I was sick from conception to after I had him, and really sick, and without her, I don't know what I would have done. So yeah. Anyway, folks, that's my rant for today. And if you got good moms and dads, go spend some time with them. And whatever you do in your marriage, just, I pray, don't let nothing rip you apart. Don't let family rip you apart. Don't let anything rip you apart. It breaks my heart when I hear marriages being destroyed and couples out cheating. I mean, you're just falling into the traps of Satan, right? Like, don't go there. Protect your marriage. Protect your family. It's the most important thing on this earth is your family, and like, protect each other. And if you have a kid, oh God, look after your kids. If you're having a hard time with a kid, I'm going to tell you, like, what you're teaching, what you're doing with kids stays with them forever. It shapes their lives, and you're shaping their lives. So be careful what happens with your kids. Really watch what you're doing. If you have a good friend today, pick up the phone and call them. You never know what they could be going through too, or you could be going through, and you can help each other out. And if you see someone today that you don't know, smile and say hello. You could be that sunshine, that calm water in their life, just by a simple smile. Anyway, folks, God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. And God willing, we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye-bye.